So today we're talking about solving absolute value inequalities. So as a reminder, solve this absolute value equation, and then we'll talk about how to do the inequality. So you want to start by adding 1. We want to get the absolute value all by itself before we can do anything with it. And then multiply by 5. And now we have to split it up into our two separate equations. So we get x plus 1 equals 60, or x plus 1 equals negative 60. And this will give us x equals 60, x equals 59, we're subtracting, and x equals negative 61. That's your two answers. So how do we do it with an inequality? So here we can break this up into our two things. We have x is less than negative 10, or x is greater than 10. So one stays the same and one flips. Here we would have x is greater than negative 10, or x is less than positive 10. So here we're going to get open circles for all of these. We're going to go this direction and this direction. And then here we're in between these two because x is less than, it's in between those two values. So if you have a greater than or equal to, you're going to get an or like this. So we can break it up. We had the x is less than negative 10, or x is greater than 10. So this one stays the same. And then the one with the opposite side, so this one is negative, so the opposite number has to switch your sign. So it becomes a lesson. Same idea with this, except you end up getting an and. So we had x was less than 10, that's the same. And we had x is greater than negative 10. This was your opposite number. So you have to flip the sign. And then you get the filled in the center. Okay, so we want to write each of these as two inequalities and then graph them. So here we have a greater than. So you can write this out. We're going to have x is less than negative 9 because we need to flip it. And then x is greater than positive 9 because it stays the same. If we graph that, we want equals to at each of these. We have 0, negative 9, 9. X is greater than positive 9, so going this way. X is less than negative 9, so going that way. Here, x is less than or equal to 13, and x is greater than or equal to negative 13. So flip when you switch the sign. Close circles at both of these. And then we're going less than 13, greater than negative 13. So we get the in between. So we get an and right here, an or right here. So here we get negative 6, I should say x. X is greater than negative 6 because we need to flip. X is less than 6. We're going to get an and with this one. So a negative 6, 0, 6. Open circles, x is less than, x is greater than, we get that middle in between. So then here you have x is less than negative 1 because we flipped it. X is greater than 1. So negative 1, 0, 1. Open circles for both of these. X is less than negative 1 and greater than 1. So you get that for your graph. Okay, so solving these, again, you want to get your inequality or your absolute value all by itself, and then you can solve. So here the absolute value is all by itself, and then we're going to break it into two like we did with the other ones. So we get 2x plus 1, and then you have to switch the inequality because we have a negative 9. And then you have 2x plus 1 stays the same because 9 stays the same. And then we're solving these separately. So 2x is greater than or equal to negative 10. X is greater than or equal to negative 5. 2x is less than or equal to 8. X is less than or equal to 4. And then if you graph this, 0, negative 5, 4, we have equals to. So we're equaling both of them. X is going this way, and then this way, they connect. All right. Now we got to get our absolute value by itself again. So divide by 4 first. We have x plus 3 is greater than 6, and now you can break it up. So x plus 3 is less than negative 6, and x plus 3 is greater than 6. Again, negative 6, we need to flip the inequality. So then x is less than negative 9, x is greater than positive 9. Graph this, negative 9, positive 9, 0. Open circles of both. For this one, x is greater than 9, and then x is less than 9. So that's the graph we get. Okay, you try this one, and then we'll talk about it. All right, to get this by itself, we need to multiply by negative 3. So we get x minus 5, but we're multiplying by a negative number, so we need to flip our inequality, and we'll get a positive 6 right there. Now you can break it up. X minus 5 is less than negative 6. X minus 5 is greater than 6. Solve. X is less than negative 1, or x is greater than 11. Graph this. Open circles of both of them. X is greater goes this way. X is less than goes that way. All right, last one. We'll add 11 to both sides to get it by itself. Then we have x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 3. Now we can break it up into our two different inequalities. So x plus 7 is less than or equal to negative 3, or x plus 7 is greater than or equal to positive 3. So x is going to be less than or equal to negative 10. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. Graph, we have 0. These are both negative this time. Close circles of both. X is greater than that and less than that. So that's your graph. Here's a quick summary of what you need to do. So when you're solving absolute value equations and inequalities, you have to get the absolute value all by itself first. So undo everything outside the absolute value and then start to solve. Then you break it up into two equations. The less than becomes an and, the greater than becomes an or. Solve those two separately, and those are your answers. And that's it.